10 years ago, Joel Embiid and the whole 76ers nation were tweeting, "Trust the process," which pretty much means tank in order to get the best picks possible and build out a championship team. Well, after acquiring Joel Embiid in 2014, they got the #1 pick Ben Simmons in 2016, and in addition, the following year they had the #1 pick again and got Markelle Fultz in 2017. At this point in time, the headlines everywhere were, "The process is complete." Well, 4 years later, this happened.
Simmons. Well, it was on this floor in game 1. He misses again.
And this also happened.
Cleared out for him. Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Oh, it was right there. And
This all translates to something that hasn't happened in 40 years. The Philadelphia 76ers, after losing against the Atlanta Hawks, became the first #1 seed to lose a Game 7 of any postseason series to a team seeded 5th or lower since 1981. The process is completely broken. How did the 76ers collapse? And what's next for them? First off, let's start with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid played overall a good series. I know he went like 0 for 12 from the field in the second half of Game 4 to blow that 18-point lead and had 8 turnovers in their Game 7 loss. But overall, he played well. To give some perspective using numbers, in the 7-game series, Joel Embiid recorded 213 points, 89 rebounds, and 27 assists. The averages are 30.2 points per game, 12.7 rebounds per game, and 3.9 assists. Man, which is superb. The only other players to hit a stat line like that in any postseason series are Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Elgin Baylor. So even though Joel Embiid put up all-time great numbers, the problem with him is that he could have been even better if he was healthy. Embiid was playing with a bad knee in the series. Reports say that he has a small torn meniscus, and it did look like he wasn't at 100%. After the 76ers lost the series, Embiid said to reporters, "I still believe that if I was 100%, we had a shot at winning it all." Obviously, a lot of things didn't go well. But like I said, me personally, with the circumstances, I did what I could and gave everything I had. I can't blame a person for injuries sustained while trying to be great, but the man is almost always injured. Here's a history of his injuries. Compare that with someone like LeBron James, who's meticulous about taking care of his body. I don't think LeBron James had a serious injury until he was like 35 years old or something. Anyway, on to the next point. This is the one y'all were probably waiting for. Ben Simmons. Did y'all know that Simmons is now officially listed at 6'11"? That's just as tall as Giannis Antetokounmpo and DeAndre Ayton, and just an inch taller than Anthony Davis. Yet when he's guarded at the rim by 6'1" Trae Young, he decides to pass on the dunk? That can't happen in Game 7.
cleared out for him. Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And
But anyway, that dunk wasn't what lost the 76ers the series. It was Ben's free throws and aggression. Let's start off with free throws first. Simmons had a total of 45 free throw attempts in the 7-game series and made 15 of them. That's 33% at the line, which is actually worse than Shaquille O'Neal's career free throw percentage. In Game 1, the 76ers lost by 4 points. Also in that game, Ben Simmons shot 3 for 10 from the free throw line. In Game 4, the 76ers lost by 3 points. Also in that game, Ben Simmons shot 1 for 5 from the free throw line. In Game 5, the 76ers again lost by 3 points. Also in that game, Ben Simmons shot 4 for 14 from the free throw line. I'm not saying Ben Simmons needs to be a Steph Curry and score 90% and above from the stripe, but 70 to 80% should be the bare minimum for an NBA superstar guard who gets paid over $30 million a year. I mean, if a 71-year-old can make 2,750 free throws in a row, Ben Simmons has no excuse to miss the way he does.
We apologize in advance for the repetitive and predictable nature of the scenes that follow.
Anyway, I've lingered on this topic of free throws just a little too long. Let's move on to Ben's next big issue, which is aggression. I saw this stat line which shows the number of shots Ben Simmons attempted in the fourth quarter of this Hawks series, and let me tell you, I was shocked. In the 7 games Simmons played, How many shot attempts, not points, shot attempts, do you think Simmons took throughout the 7-game series in the fourth quarter? Ben Simmons is a superstar and really should be either the number 1 option or the number 2 option. And if he only took 2 or 3 attempts per game in the fourth quarter, I'd say he wasn't aggressive enough and needs to attack the basket more. If he only took 1 shot attempt per fourth quarter, I'd palm my face while shaking my head and I'd say out loud, "What are you doing?" But no, Ben Simmons has taken this to the next level. Throughout 7 games, he took a total of 3 shot attempts in the fourth quarter. This lack of aggression and inability to make free throws ultimately led the 76ers to their defeat against the Atlanta Hawks. I can definitely see why 76ers fans are upset and why a lot of them want to see Ben Simmons traded. Anyway, let's get on to some positive news about what the 76ers did well. I got 2 players here, Tobias Harris and Seth Curry. Tobias Harris, the third option, actually played well, aside from Game 5, where he laid a goose egg with 4 points. Tobias averaged over 20 points per game, which is solid as a third option. He shot efficiently from the floor, hit threes at a decent clip, and knocked down his free throws whenever he went to the line. Seth Curry, on the other hand, shot 31 from 52 from deep, which is just a hair shy of 60%. This actually set an NBA record for the highest three-point percentage in any series for people who attempted at least 45 three-point shots. Was this actually Seth Curry? Or did Steph do a little bit of makeup and put on a 76ers uniform? Who knows? Actually, I do know. If it was Steph, the 76ers would have won this series. Anyway, I don't want to get fined by the NBA for any of these potential tampering issues, so I'll just stop there. The point is, Seth Curry played an amazing series and was a stone-cold assassin, just like his older brother. Okay, now that we had a bit of positivity, let's move back and get a bit critical. This time, I want to talk about Doc Rivers. The only thing Doc has on his resume is beating Kobe Bryant and the 2008 Lakers in the finals, when he had 4 future Hall of Famers on his roster. I don't know too much about the personality of Doc. I hear a lot of good stuff about him as a person, but when it comes to his resume, it actually doesn't look too good. Again, 2008 was his lone bright year where, along with 4 future Hall of Famers, he won the Celtics a championship, and after that, it gets ice cold. No pun intended. In 2010, up 3-2 against the Lakers in the finals, the Celtics dropped the last 2 games and lost. In 2015, Doc Rivers was the head coach for the Los Angeles Clippers, which housed Chris Paul and was known as Lob City. In the playoff series against the Houston Rockets, Doc and the Clippers had a 3-1 lead, only to blow it and stun the NBA world. Then, in the 2020 bubble, the championship favorites Doc Rivers and the Los Angeles Clippers were up 3-1 against huge underdogs, the Denver Nuggets, and blew that series as well, which ultimately got him fired and sent to the 76ers, where he just witnessed a collapse that'll definitely become a classic. I think Doc Rivers has to go. He's really notorious for not making adjustments, and that just can't happen. I mean, Tyronn Lue, his assistant coach from last year, led his 2021 Clippers team back from 2 0-2 deficits and got the Clippers further than they've ever gone in franchise history. Anyway, I've lingered on Doc Rivers a bit too much. A great guy, but with a faulty track record. Next off, I think I've criticized the 76ers too much, without giving credit to the Hawks. Trae Young is a flat-out superstar. In his first NBA playoff year, he's averaging 29.1 points per game and 10.4 assists, and now he's rewriting his narrative from being a player who puts up big numbers in losing efforts to a guy who can carry and lead his team. Trae Young, or Ice Trae as they call him on the streets, is a stone-cold assassin who's only 22 years old, and I look forward to watching him in the future. Back to the 76ers, and what's next for them? The title of this video is that the process is completely broken, and I admit it's a little misleading. The 76ers in the process isn't broken. They were the number 1 seed in the East, and that's gotta mean something. Furthermore, the only thing that's actually broken and needs to be fixed is Ben Simmons' free throws. Forget his three-point shot. Ben Simmons needs to work on improving his free throw accuracy, which in effect will increase his aggression of attacking the rim and getting to the line. I heard a report that he's declining to join Team Australia in the Tokyo Olympics, and instead, he's going to be doing some serious skills development. We all know what skills development is. Ben Simmons is going to live at the free throw line this offseason and practice, practice, practice. You hear that, Allen Iverson? Practice. I hope Simmons channels the embarrassment of what just happened into something productive and comes back as a decent free throw shooter. The truth is, Simmons is a superstar, and if he learns to shoot free throws, he can take the 76ers to a whole nother level. You know who reminds me of Ben Simmons a bit? Draymond Green. They both can do everything, but shoot the ball. And although Green shoots it better at the free throw line, his shot form and shot selection is still questionable.
Oh, still looking for Steph. Now Draymond's got it.
What did he do that for?
Draymond shot a three.
Have you ever wondered, though, why is Draymond always looking so angry and intense? Well, I wondered why too. So I looked into his past and made this video just for you. He's got a really interesting past and childhood. So if you watch this video, you'll know exactly why he looks so angry all the time. Click it, guys, watch it, and I'll see you on the other side.